up, everybody? Welcome to Non-Fungible Guys. If you're new here, this is a podcast about Web3. And what is Web3? Well, Web3 is Web 2 plus 1. Sorry, I've been making that joke for 2 weeks now, and I think it's going to stay. Okay, in a serious note now, Web3 is about non-fungible tokens. It's about the blockchain. It's about cryptography. It's about, cryptocurrencies and everything in between. This podcast explores the relationship of all those things. It includes entertainment. Sometimes we ask people about their favorite restaurants. And I am one of your hosts, Devon C. Codrington here. On X, which used to be Twitter, you can find me on Twitter at Devon Codrington. You can also find the podcast on Twitter or X at Non-Fungible Guys. And I'm joined by my co-host, my best friend for the past 20 years. And he is rubbing his eyes because he hates these intros. What's your name, sir?
NFG Ryan. What's going on, everyone?
There it is, NFG Ryan. This week...
Come on, talking a mile a minute. But anyways.
This week, we are joined by Thesis and Dysmorphia from Thesis and Dysmorphia, or the project Dysmorphia. We talked about this before, and I was like, how do we say this? But you know what? We're going to get into their names. We're going to get into the project. We're going to get into these founders here and the amazing work they're doing in the CNFT space, all in this podcast. So if you're new here, listen up. It's going to be a technical one. It's going to be exciting. And if you're one of our guests that have been a long-time listener, thank you for coming back. Don't forget to give us a rating on Apple Podcasts. Is that what we want?
Review.
Yeah, okay. Do that. All right. Enough about me. I'll stop talking now. Welcome, Thesis and Dysmorphia. How's it going? Welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Hi, thank you for having us. That was a nice intro. Thank you very much for this.
I'm glad someone appreciated it.
Don't lie to him, ladies. Don't lie to him.
No, I'm looking at him and he's beautiful.
Oh, you're beautiful, Dewan. Look at you, buddy.
Rosy red cheeks now. Okay.
Yeah. Well, hello, guys. Thank you for having us, inviting us to this podcast, and giving us a chance to talk more about our project and presenting everything that we are doing. And we are very excited to do it with you.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Ryan, you can kick us off with our first question.
You sure?
Yes.
You gonna take a break?
Leave me alone.
I guess
just to remind of us, because that is how usually I like to talk a lot, and Thesis, she's the one that usually gives me the evil eye, or she can wrap it in a joke, but I know it's like, okay, I need to stop talking.
That's
so I feel you.
You get it
for sure.
You get it.
I let Devon usually just talk, and then I'll chime in every so often. So totally the same. I guess we'll throw the softball question out there. And who are you?
Good question, isn't it? For the past year, I was wondering myself many times, who am I and what the hell we are doing? Trying to sell knowledge during the meme coin season or stuff like that.
Right, nice.
But yeah. So basically, our names at the moment still, and for the past year, we are going by names Thesis and Dysmorphia. I'm Thesis, and Dysmorphia is here right by my side. And why do we have those names is basically because we started this Thesis and Dysmorphia project, and we decided with the project that we will do a scientific study about CNFT space, or I would say some aspects of CNFT space. And to do that, basically, first we created our own project, decided to do it undoxed for the whole period of 1 year, and to, along the way, also analyze the project itself, research anything that can be researched by surveys that we post to our community, by following all the numbers that you can follow as a project, like Twitter engagement, Discord numbers, floor prices of your NFTs, and stuff like that. But the biggest part is the service that we are giving to our community for the past year. And there we have questions which are also related to how do they feel about us as founders being undoxed, and we want to see what is like an opinion of CNFT community about undoxed founders, because we know that's like a hot topic at times in the space, and an issue and possible red flag at some times.
I was going to say total red flag for a lot of people. Start fudding right away. They're on docs. They're going to rug all the time.
So we decided to go the hard way and do it undoxed, because we thought that the only way that you can get real answers and real opinions of people, I think, towards that exact question is if you
put them in that situation.
Basically, and we put those members of our community in that situation, and we wanted to see, is it possible maybe to build a project and build a relationship with members through this period, show them what are you doing, and maybe make it more important than the fact, do they know who you are, or are you doxed at some doxing service or something like that. I think it's a discussion for itself. Does it actually matter anything if you just dox by a doxing service, or did something ever come out of it? If someone rugged and was doxed, were there any repercussions for them?
I was part of one project that actually was rugged, and the guy apparently was doxed with and nothing's ever come out of it. So
yeah,
I don't recall that from any. I mean, by saying that, we our stand is not that it's not necessary, or that we think it's a good thing to do a project and not be doxed. We took that direction because we knew that if we want to do a study, that's our study topic. It's not only the docs or undocs, but many other things that we are studying. And it was important to create a project from zero, not relying on that someone knows you from before and will help you with gathering the community, stuff like that. Because both of us, we were in the space much before we started these projects. So it was much easier for the study to create a project from zero. And since we knew, okay, the study will be much bulletproof if we do it like this, it will be much unbiased. And since there is a problem with undocs founders in the space, why not to research also this? So it was a great opportunity for us to see that will the sentiment of the people who joined the project from the beginning and they stayed with us for the period of 1 year change during this whole period? Because imagine if I'm asking you every 2 or 3 weeks, like we did to them with our service, with the almost same set of questions, and one of or two of those questions were related to the docs and docs part. If I ask you that every 2-3 weeks during the period of 1 year, probably you would not give me always the same answer, because maybe in the period of 1 week, in the period of 2 weeks in between, I will do something that made you believe more in me, and we as human will like to connect. And I don't know, it will be very interesting, I think, for everyone to see, was it really that important? Did the sentiment change during the time? Did we manage to get much more trust from people? So is it in the end important what you do or who you are and stuff like that? But as I said when I started, it's not we saying the doxing part, you don't have to do it, because obviously we will do it now. Right. when we finish with the last survey for our community, and before the study meant we will be doxed and everything. But it was great to be able to study that.
So it was a big part of the kind of the study of not being doxed. But I kind of, it's almost like you wanted the real answers. It's almost like when people don't know they're being recorded. you kind of get the real person that you're watching, as opposed to as soon as someone sees a camera on them, they change. So it's kind of similar in the sense of you want to get real answers, and them potentially knowing you could alter the data.
Yeah, it's like in like when you try to have in research, you try to have a placebo group, or sometimes you're doing blind research, because you know, to study the effects of medication, there's always going to be someone that's understands what the medication is supposed to do, and then naturally manifest those symptoms within themselves because they know they're supposed to experience, I don't know, increased heart rate or something. All of a sudden their heart starts beating faster, and you can't really measure that as being a result of the medication or of the individual's mind telling them that they're supposed to experience in that. So you have to give a placebo group or do some sort of blind research where you tell them they're being, you might say, you know, you tell them we are testing about whether this project is going to be viable if doxed or not, but really you could be testing other things as well under the guise, or you know, that you're testing for this to get true responses. And I think, yeah, when it comes to doxing, seeing who the person is or who the team is or whatnot always does influence the performance validity of the project in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. I think we're no longer into the wild west. I mean, it's still the wild west of Web3 and crypto, because it's still wild out here, which is great, decentralization. But, you know, at the beginning, so many people were undoxed, and, you know, we just kind of went for it, and then rugs would happen, things would happen. And it was like, okay, now, and we've talked about this on our podcast a lot, haven't we, Ryan? Like, where we're evaluating a project. Honestly, if we can talk about that one project, we talked about it recently, where we kind of had the interview, and then we were like, the person isn't doxed, and you know,
and he was a one-man
team, and you were like, this doesn't look well for giving confidence to the community that we are going to see this project completed. And after the podcast, we talked about it a little bit, and we were 100% right. And they
didn't even get close to minting out. Yeah, more like he just stopped minting and then disappeared for a few months and popped up somewhere else on a different blockchain.
On a different chain. But yeah.
You know why? He used the same. Because we had conversed on Twitter DMs. So I knew he had ghosted on his Twitter. But then all of a sudden, I was going through the DMs to close them. I was like, oh, I wonder what happened to this guy. And I clicked his profile, and I was like, oh, he's on like Hedera or another blockchain with a different project, but similar artwork. So I was like, so he didn't necessarily rug, but he minted like maybe 20 NFTs and then moved on.
Yeah. So it was some sort of a soft pivot without any announcement. So, I mean, not transparent or trustworthy. So, but yeah, given the climate, and I like what you said at the beginning about you're trying to sell knowledge during meme coin season or whatnot. That was good, quite insightful. Yeah,
this is how we felt at some point, you know.
Okay,
it's like nothing offensive toward anyone, right? Was just, you know, sometimes I think it's pretty normal and even good for growth and for everything, that sometimes you are a little bit, I don't know, maybe it's not the correct word, like skeptical toward yourself, but you need to, like, you know, be realistic and see, you know, am I really doing a good thing? Am I really, I mean, it's not about you need to necessarily, you know, succeed in everything that you do. Of course, you know, the path is always filled with many attempts, and that's all legit. But from our perspective, we knew that what we are trying to do was never done before on any blockchain. We knew that, you know, the knowledge that we will gather from this longitudinal part of the study that we are doing with our community, and then the cross-sectional part of the study that we enter in 50 already existing projects on Cardano. Like, I don't know if you saw, but there are like many projects from different categories. You mentioned Nukas earlier. So them, and then many others. And so the all the survey that we collected, all the knowledge that we collected, and the study that we will produce with all this data that are now still raw data, but Thesis, she's doing a hell of a good job to analyze everything, to make good statistic, to put this in a such easy, digestible way that is, for everyone to understand, because it was not our intention to make a study to make us look smart, and then everyone else will be, okay, what's this? It needs to be very easy to understand, because it has to have a practical value so people can learn from it. People who are trying to invest or to play a little bit with NFTs, people who are trying to build something, absolutely everyone. And we always said that, having a more knowledgeable community space, whatever you want to call it, it can make everything better. And the only one who will not benefit from more knowledgeable community are the people who came here only for scam and for rug. Because
right.
But at some point, we are all aware that many of us, and sometimes it look like everyone, but I know that that's not true. We are here only to make to earn something, to flip something. And yes, sometimes it may look like this when everyone is FOMOing in something, when you see some projects built on hype, just for hype, you don't see anything else, but then you see like all these big masses of people going there, and then and at some point, how much work you put in, and I think it's pretty understandable that you ask yourself, am I in the right place? And so we joke many times, oh my God, I would say this is like, we are trying to sell knowledge during the meme coin season. We are not gonna make it.
It's okay. So there's a couple things there, because we have we're always trying to sell knowledge constantly, and updates. We don't necessarily give people market updates, Pudgy Penguins are doing this, or we keyboard warriors. We're not actually the market update people. We are people that are cross Cardano, looking at different blockchains, looking at general things. Sometimes we're bringing in entertainment, and we actually have a thing where sometimes we're is this what the listeners want to hear? Is this? And neither of us can fully decide. We can't fully know, so we kind of just keep going. So, once we started, we kind of will have a joke sometimes where we'll say hey, so you want to quit? You want to quit the podcast? And I'm like, no, let's go one more episode, and then we get one more episode. Okay. So I have a question, Ryan. I don't know if you had a question. Sorry, I'm running.
No, go ahead, mate. Yeah. You lead the way.
So I realize, we have some listeners here, and some listeners are probably what are these guys talking about? I know there's always new people on the podcast. We've kind of just jumped in because we've looked at your site. Ryan holds some of your NFTs. We know what's going on, but maybe we can pull backwards and start with the study at a broad, high level. If you were, I don't want to say in an elevator because that's 30 seconds. So you're having coffee with someone and they say, Thesis and Dysmorphia, what is this? What is this study that you're doing? How would you explain it at a high level to someone that isn't in...
We're on a coffee date.
Yeah, we're on a coffee date. And how would you explain it to someone? Ryan, why'd you say that? That threw me off. How would you explain it to someone that doesn't know at a very high level? And also, I hate to do this. I can't tell you two apart yet and when you're talking. So who's Dysmorphia right now?
Me.
Yeah, okay.
The fun one. The fun one.
The one that talks a lot like me.
You.
Gotcha. Okay. Writing notes.
Is more like Ryan. Funny, but probably, probably more
better looking. I got it. It's fine. Yeah, you could say it.
Yeah, I was going for that. Yeah, definitely.
She's definitely better looking. Yep.
Ryan's. All right, everybody.
I'm built for personality. I know my role. I stay in my lane.
But it's good. You make a good team, and that is how I think about me and Thesis also. We are a good team because we can combine our,
the yin and the yang. It just works, right?
Yeah. So when they asked me at one space to do an elevator speech, and I said, first, I will stop the elevator, and now you will listen. It will not be 30 seconds. So for the coffee date, I would probably offer you lunch, but I will try to stay on a coffee date and explain.
That's awesome.
Basically, our idea was to study space, to make a scientific study about sentiment and behavior of people in NFTs. Since both of us, we've been on Cardano blockchain when it comes to NFTs from 2021. Thesis came a little bit earlier than me, and then she was like, you know how it goes, every day talking about this, and then I came also. So we spent some time here. We've been OGs in projects, we flip something, we invest in something, and we see how, everything works here. And at some point, Thesis had this idea, let's do our project. And since both of us are entrepreneurs in life, so we had some businesses going on, we still have some businesses going on, we knew that if we're going to do something, it has to really be, I don't know if the correct word is smart, but it has to have head and tail, not just to go and see where it leads us, although that's also a legit way. I'm not saying anything against, but I was more concerned about the fact that not over-promising and then not delivering, since knowing, everything that we have to do in our lives with other stuff. And since part of, I have 3 masters, and she was on her way to PhD when this idea came up. Although this study has nothing to do with her PhD, she got her PhD, all good. And I said, well, part of the stuff that I did in my previous career was always business intelligence. I like to research when I come to something, and I think that makes all of my decisions better. And we came up with this idea to make a project that basically it's going to research the space. In order to have a good paper, a good scientific study, we decide that this study will have 2 parts. One part is the longitudinal part, meaning we will follow one project for a period of 1 year. In order to have this project, because you cannot knock on someone's door and tell them, yeah, we would love to follow you for a period of 1 year. Please open all your doors. Tell us all your secrets. Right. Do you buy bots? Do you buy likes and stuff like that? We realize it's going to be much better that we create a project. So that's why we created Dysmorphia. So that's why we have those NFTs. We have our community, our OGs, are whitelisted. But in our case, when we started, they all knew that they are part of the study of an experiment, and they signed a consent form, meaning that we will give them every few weeks service. They will answer to those service, and that is how we can follow their sentiment during the period of 1 year. Since this, for us, was not enough to say we will have the biggest study about NFTs that anyone done, we did this cross-sectional part, meaning we approached to 50 different projects already existing on Cardano blockchain, different in a way that they are doing different things when it comes to NFTs. They have different utilities. They fit in different, let's say, categories, like music NFTs, like stuff that Nuka's doing, like project CNFT tools or block investment group. So we have art projects, collectibles, communities orientated projects, DAOs, utilities like tools, music NFTs. Did I say art?
Yes, you did.
Of course, art NFTs. And also was important that we took projects, gaming, metaverse, everything. that we have projects that started in a different time, meaning some of them started during the bull time, some of them started during the bear time. Because as much diverse chunk of the whole space we have, the more accurate the data will be. So we approach also to them. We designed the specific service for them, the holder survey that was in their projects for their holders to fill out. And then we gave them the general public survey. That survey was related to your sentiment and experience when it comes to whole space, not only to the projects where you're in. You know, questions like, how many rugs did you experience? Questions like demographic data, questions like, when did you discover Cardano? How did you discover Cardano? Which platform do you use most? How many wallets do you have? How many alt accounts do you have? Like more than 70 questions only in this general public survey. So we finished all this. Now we are in the phase to analyze all this, and our final product will be the study that will not be published in a usual way in a scientific journal, but it will be published in a form of NFT. And that is how we will also contribute to the diverse use of NFTs. And we will show that, you know, science also could benefit from a more decentralized way of publishing things, or maybe even how to funding some of the researchers and stuff like that. So now we are almost, you know, approaching the final line of our projects. We will publish this study. We promise that it will be in an innovative way, meaning there will be a surprise, not the innovative way. It's not referring, it will be in a form of NFT, but also we are planning to do something more, I would say, the way how you will be able to read science. That's something that we are building silently behind. And the study also will be peer review, because we think that's important also. And we are aiming that it will have really practical value. And hopefully, I don't know if that's important or not, but I think for all the people who supported us and for us, maybe someday we will have a historical value also, because it's first of its kind, never done on any blockchain. And maybe will spark, you know, something in others, something a little bit more science when it comes to the use of NFTs, or who knows. But yeah, I think we did a very good job, and honestly, we are so thrilled to dox ourselves, to sign the study, to show the study, and to see where it goes.
And your 30 seconds is gone.
Yeah, but I to the lunch, you know.
I finished my lunch. It was great.
Yeah, it was a brunch. It was a brunch.
When you guys were going around the space and asking, you know, founders and projects about, can we have you participate in the study? Did you guys find? Did you get a lot of no's?
I haven't made the statistics on that. I surely will, but I think
we have a data.
Yeah, we have data. I haven't counted them yet, but I think more was positive. Of course, we had some no's. We had some no's with a reason, so it's a very good idea, but unfortunately we cannot do that now, have no time, stuff like that. Some we just faced no answer and ignore, but mostly I think it was like a good reception. Even if it was a no, they would say maybe later or something like that. In the second time.
It was generally positive.
Yeah, generally it's positive. I mean, having 50 projects and approaching to someone on docs, I mean, we knew it's going to be hard, but also we were also surprised by the response. It was really good. At first, we thought we will go up to 30, right? But then we said, well, 30, 50. I mean, it's the same.
What's another 20? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good though. Like if you think about a project that decides to participate in the study, that immediately for the holders could offer some change in the outcome. Because if I'm in a project and they're participating in this, then I have some sort of high level basic assurity that this project takes themselves seriously and is going to continue. You know what I mean? Like a project that doesn't think they have staying power isn't going to, might not want to sign up, but if a project that does, I think it adds to their validity and credibility of staying in the space, because they're like, want to, yeah.
It'd be fun down the road to get like a rugger survey going. Like known ruggers in the space that I know there was one on, I think it was ETH or I think it was Solana actually. The guy would actually brag on Twitter that I'm rugging you fools.
Yes, there was a Solana guy that did that.
I fooled the developers of Solana and they let me in again and I rugged you idiots.
Yeah.
Interesting to survey people like that where
and then he was
trying process. It happened also on Cardano, I think. It was in the period when, do you remember when it was when a lot of the similar
chains on dogs and dogs on chains.
Dogs on chains.
I don't know even if it was this one, but I know that there was one tweet that was circling around about someone bragging, I did not one, but 3 or 4 projects, and you minted them or something like, I don't know if it was a joke or it was a real thing, because we were, wrapped with our things, but I remember that tweet. Someone bragged about how he scammed people, and it wasn't Cardano. I remember that.
Yeah,
I can't remember it. I remember seeing something like that. Okay, I had a question. Going back to the general survey, I like that you talked about some of the questions that you asked. I guess I'm trying to get a sense of how the survey was outlined. I'm assuming this 70 question survey, multiple choice.
Mostly multiple choice, because that's the easiest way for us to process data. For sure, we have put some few open-ended questions, what is your definition of a rug pull? What do you think of future of NFTs? So we just basically can get some statements maybe and discuss them later. But it's not really about much usable in the data itself. It's more like just to get some sense and maybe some thoughts of the community.
And were there any questions you asked where you were like completely blown away? You were like, whoa, I did not expect this to be the response. So if you were like, how many wallets did you have? And you kind of expect everyone has 3, but most people are just like, just one, like what's something, if you can remember, I know you probably have to go through data.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And don't worry, I'm not going to hold this response as empirical evidence to kind of like confront the final result. I'll be like, excuse me, at time block 45 minutes, you said you were not surprised. Like whatever you say, it's okay. But was there any questions you were like very, very surprised at about the response that you felt offered some weird insight that you didn't expect?
Well, now when you mentioned the wallets and that, we had a question: how many alt accounts do you have? And I'm still not on that question, but from what I've seen, it's like a very high majority that they stated they don't have alt accounts. And
I'm happy about that. Because I don't have an alt account. I was just saying to someone the other day, I'm like, do I need an alt account? Is that like the cool thing to do?
What's an alt account?
You have Devon, you have Interstellar on Discord, but then other people will have a secondary account.
Yeah.
Right? Especially on Discord or like Twitter.
We don't though, because we're not like I feel like we operate differently. We're like we're not in
controversy.
We're not in controversy. I'm not a true degen. I mean, I love to watch degens, but like you saw me in Vegas, I was at the roulette table just like drinking and watching people play, and I'm like, I'm good. Like that's why we commentate. We have a podcast to commentate.
Ladies, let me go. We're at CNFTCon last year. I'm throwing you under the bus right now, Devon.
Thank you.
We stood at the roulette table for maybe 30, 45 minutes. And I'm trying to, the whole time, my goal was to get him to put one bet down. and he wouldn't do it. Like, I'm explaining rules, I'm giving tips, and I mean, I didn't play either, but still.
But you knew you weren't going to play. I was like, we'll see.
Yeah, I was trying to convince him, and he never broke. He did not break at all.
I just like, I love the enjoyment of the game and the thrill of like whatever, but then I was just like, at the same time, the value of the currency for me versus that experience, it just didn't weigh out. I was getting enough from watching. I know it sounds ridiculous. Oh, just don't, Ryan. This is a family podcast. Don't go there.
I wasn't. I was going to sip my water.
Back to the alt accounts. Yeah, I think that's why I asked that question, or even about wallets, because I know that like we've talked on this podcast about, you know, having your minting wallet, having your deep storage wallet, having like another operating wallet or whatnot, and like us seeing scams or hacks or happen where then people's like wallets drain, and we're like, get more than one wallet. So just kind of, I was really be interested to see that kind of data point where, you know, you look around and you're like, most people only have one wallet or two wallets, even though everyone knows you're supposed to have more. I'm just wondering.
You're going to have to mint the survey now.
Yeah. And I'll mint it. I'll mint it with the one wallet that I have.
I think for the wallets, it's from 2 to 10 or something like that.
Oh, again, that's good.
But that's, yeah, I was surprised when we were like going through questions before they came out, and gave them to few people just to check and give maybe some feedback and tell if we can do anything differently. And for that exact question about wallets, first we put options like 1, 2 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 50, more than 50. And then the guy who we asked said, oh my, well, that's too low. I know guys that have 500 wallets. You have to put like ranges at least a bit higher.
Yeah,
so we did that. But then it's proved that I was right, and it's like maybe one person answered that they have.
They're an outlier in the sample. Like even though some people might have that, like most people, that's a very small subset I'm expecting that's operating with 500 wallets, and they must be programmatically.
No, you know what? It reminds me of, I'll say his name, Bro, who was the rug puller of Lurkers.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
Back in the day, we tried tracking that guy's wallets, and it was everywhere. So
you said it was hundreds?
Yeah, it was we couldn't even track it. It just, they went everywhere. So, and he was doing it knowingly. So maybe, I guess for someone like, I'd like to see the data on that.
I have to give context on who Bro is.
No, it doesn't matter. He was a former founder, or he worked on the Lurkers and took off with everyone's money. But
and then tried to wash it in a bunch of wallet movements, hundreds of
wallets, yeah.
Right. So I'm curious if someone has, or someone's like really scared of security and has 100 wallets. It could kind of both be. But yeah, I think I have like 4 wallets, 5 wallets.
No way, you've got more than that.
No, I have the one I mint from. I got a storage one, and then I got my ledger, and then that's kind of it.
As we were talking about that, I was thinking about how many wallets I have, and I have 6. But don't ask me how much wallets I have access to.
So, okay, with the survey, so you did the general. Did you have one for specifically just founders or project? Yeah, project founders.
Yes, okay. Of course. We had a survey for them, which covered some questions specifically for them because, they are in specific situations. So we asked them about what is the most stressful about their job, how do they deal with it, stuff about that. And then also most of the questions were similar to the public questions, because that way now we can find a difference between that subset of founders and what they think about certain topics, and then what public think about certain topics. So to see if there is any difference that comes from your role in the space which you are having. What do you do in space? Does it affect your sentiments and behavior and stuff like that? We also had a survey for moderators, similar thing, to see also the differences between founders, moderators, and public, and to ask some questions to moderators specifically to see how much projects do they work in, how much are they paid, do they work for free. And basically it's interesting because this week specifically, we started the topic exactly about that, about moderators. We went to some spaces with that topic and like to give some snippets of data from that survey and to talk about it. So maybe we can mention some of that too, like regarding one question that was interesting is how important do you think the moderator's role in space is? We asked that question to all the 4 different categories, so founders, moderators, holders in projects, and then public. And basically, founders said that they think the moderators are very important, which was like the highest point on the scale. The most, they said it in 73% of time, but moderators for themselves just said 55% or something like that. So it was like an interesting discussion. Why would founders give this level of importance, and then moderators would basically value themselves less, and then holders valued them even less, like 38%. So it was
interesting.
Why? What? And
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I kind of think moderators are important. I'd put them up there with because I mean they're kind of controlling and they've got the vibe or the pulse on the community.
Yeah, and for many people, moderators might be the first actual person from a project they interact with on a direct.
Exactly.
Like if they're your spokesperson, they're very important, I think. So I mean, but maybe that low percentage from the holders is because they see them as the person that's giving information, but also and that information is good or bad. Like how often do we go to customer support when something's wrong? You know?
Yeah, you're always yelling. Yeah, exactly. The moderator is the one that's good or bad. Like they usually have to ban people.
They're the messenger.
Yeah.
And they get killed. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I do have a question with the survey too. All the surveys are anonymous, correct?
Yes, all the surveys were anonymous. When you were filling out the survey, you never put your name in there on any place. But we wanted to incentivize people to fill out those surveys in the end, because more surveys, better data. Yes. So the way for us to do it, even without knowing who did specific survey, is we had a keyword on end of each survey, and to get your benefits, basically the benefit in most cases was you will get the whitelist for the mint of the study. You would have to go to our Discord with that keyword and write it down in a specific channel, and it would give you the role, basically the whitelist role. So
cool.
And the keyword disappeared after you typed it too. That's important too. So you couldn't go back and see who. Oh, he's in Pavia or he's in Lurkers. I was just looking at my name. I think
that's a great idea. The disappearing.
It is.
It's good.
Yeah, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I did 6 or 7 surveys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Amazing.
I hope I answered pretty good.
As long as you were honest.
I was honest. Yeah.
That's the prerequisite. Yeah.
So next month, towards the end of September, we're still on track for that research coming out at that point?
Yes, maybe a few days later.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, FUD. Start fudding everyone.
Yeah, forget it. They're not dogs. Take your headphones out.
I'm out of here.
We're going to measure the FUD. That's the last thing.
That's the last thing. FUD meter.
No, the doxing comes before the
doxing will come before.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Are you guys nervous to dox at all? Or how do you feel about it? No, you don't care?
Honestly, I can't wait. I thought when we started, of course, let's be honest here, the anonymity gives you at least a little bit of more freedom, I would say, to express yourself. That is why we see many of people can be so rude in comments because they have like this anonymity. They have this shield of the screen, and they can like be. And then you how many times do you hear people saying, "Oh, he's such a nice person in real life," and then you see the comments like, "Oh my God, who's that? Like, who released the Kraken?" You know, and so basically, of course, I will not be hypocrite and say it was hard. It was hard, the part when we started because we couldn't use any of people that maybe we knew from before. I mean, we were never famous in the space, meaning we were not influencers or stuff like that. So that's why that makes much easier, because no one knows our voices, because although we were in so many projects as OGs, as community members and stuff like that, we never spoke in spaces. So that makes everything easier to stay on docs. But also, you know, being in a space for 1 year before you start your projects, you get to know a lot of people, especially us. We are very, you know, communicative and stuff like that. And when you start a project, it's pretty much normal that you will go to people that you know and say, okay, I'm starting this. They will help you retweet. They will help you, you know, with many stuff. So we didn't have that because it was important for the study to start from zero with a Twitter account, with Discord, absolutely everything. That makes a little bit harder everything. The fact that staying on docs is a red flag also doesn't make it easier. But I never anticipated that the most hard part for me would be not to be able to share how much I would love to share.
Right, because you fall into that like where you want to be personal, and it's like you can't. Right?
Yes, and I think I'm pretty much always very personal. It's not that I'm not, but you know, you connect with people in your community. They came, many of them every day. You talk with them, so you know when something happens. We have one community member at the beginning. He had like his daughter was. How do I say this? Born. His daughter was born. Then he had.
Thanks for the hot word there.
Wow.
Congratulations also to him.
Yeah, but it was many months ago. In crypto times, she's now like 55, you know. So basically, there are like many situations that people share with you, happy and sad sometimes. And, you know, everyone comes, it's almost like in a little cafe, you know, and you share some stuff. And it's pretty much normal that with someone shares with you, you want to like, you know, share something. And we would usually share stuff and stuff like that. But then some people would share some pictures, and for me, it's like you're building this bond, and this bond developed even if you do something or you don't, it's there. So I felt a little bit, oh my God, can't wait to just be me, you know, just be me. Not
very cool.
Although I would probably stick with the Dysmorphia because I like it much more than mine. But, but yeah, so honestly, we can wait, and we will do something fun with this doxing part. Like, I don't know, maybe some kind of detective hunt with a prize.
Cool. Ryan's gonna win. He's good at those.
No. I suck at those.
He's good. I don't know what he's talking about. He's always like going around. He's like, oh, I found this on the website. I'm in a different room or something. Anyways, we'll see.
Well, and then it would be very fun for you because she likes to do this. We call it labyrinth games. We had one of those a few months ago, like, you know, with some clues, and then you need to go in this channel, put the word where you think when you find the clue, and it will open another channel. I think we will do something like that, like a detective hunt on our or identities or origin country or stuff like that. And we we joke that, you know, being on docs all this time, there are so many things that I would love to say and can't wait this week to finally happen. So we will probably call it overdoxing time because it will be too much sharing of everything.
That's amazing. I love that.
So we're getting like free docs treatment here because we can like hear your voices and such.
I know everyone can hear.
Well, they've been doing Twitter Spaces.
You've been doing Spaces? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew you guys were real OGs doing that old money trivia game that you guys had put together, because I didn't do very well on it, but I think you even said it too afterwards that you'd been in the project for a while.
Yeah, you played that one. Yeah, that one was one of my dearest because I really love the Old Money project and like everything that was happening in there from the start. It's one of a kind.
Actually, I
Yeah.
do. Were you guys at CNFT Con last year?
No, unfortunately, no.
I was like, did we bump into?
I know. Did we like pass them by? Like,
They're just like suckers. You had no idea.
yeah.
I don't think we know each other. I think I would remember, and I don't think we like met before, like in Discords or anywhere.
I don't think so. Probably, maybe me. Definitely not Devon. He's not the social Discord guy. He has his role. I have my role. I do the social stuff. But what's so funny? Devon,
I don't know. I'm just sad because we talked about this before, and like about. He was like, I was thinking about something, and Ryan's like, Devon, it's okay. You're not the Discord guy. Stick to your lane. And I was like, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. So we just talked about that. Anyways, okay. I was wondering if we could talk about artwork and the collection a little bit, like window. Yeah, let's talk about that and like because like Ryan holds a bunch of them and the artwork and the generation of it, all that kind of fun stuff. What's the NFT like? How would we describe that?
So when we realized that we need a project that we can follow for a period of 1 year, we didn't want to be just something to have a case study. And since when we started, I was in a phase of trying to paint something, though I'm not an artist, but sometimes I would say I'm a creative person and I like to do many different things, And the dysmorphia part, the name and everything came from the real life phenomenon that it's called Snapchat dysmorphia.
I was going to ask you about that actually, and like body dysmorphia, Snapchat dysmorphia.
He actually has it written down in our show notes, so he's definitely was going to ask.
Okay, go ahead.
That's actually a real thing. So basically, at some point, how in social media and before that on Snapchat, there were all these filters. And you could make yourself look more younger, more whatever you want, with bigger lips or smaller nose.
And everyone adds freckles. They all add freckles right here.
Yeah.
It's very, very common. Yeah.
And at some point there was this doctor, I think a plastic surgeon, who realized that more and more people are coming into to him with not bringing how usually many of people when they search for a cosmetic surgery, they came with ideas that they want to have ass like Kim Kardashian or nose like this actors or stuff like that. But they would bring their own images but alter it by filters.
Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, because I don't know if you tried, but you can really look like you, but for example, younger or
Yeah, my sister.
I like my Shrek look.
Yeah, with bigger eyes, with smaller nose, stuff like that. So he realized that that's becoming a phenomenon. And so basically now this term is used to describe in some cases, people seeking cosmetic procedures to alterate their image, but mostly also it's been used for describing people who are heavily editing their images by using many filters. And in the end, they don't look like they look in real life, but like an, very altered image of themselves. So for me, that was very, very interesting. And also the fact I was trying to do a parallel with the NFT world and how we, at least many of us, are using profile pictures of some of the projects that we like as our own picture. And at some point you somehow identify people with that. I mean, when you think about some of the people that you maybe daily, speak in some chats and projects, it depends how much of the visual person are you. But for example, for me, when I think about something, first it comes as an image, and even when it comes to people and everything, and then comes everything later. And I realized how many of these people, for some of them, I even know how they look in real life because maybe at some point they shared some pictures. But when someone mentioned them, first what pops to my mind is their blue clay or space buds or lurker or whatever image they have on their profile picture. So it was for me a nice parallel to think, what if at some point people will go so crazy that will try to alter their real life image by some NFTs they like or some trade they like. So that is how the Dysmorphia the Dysmorphia project, that's basically the story of it. I did different houses trying to portray different I would say NFTs in space that we have, divided in fruits, veggies. Then you would have something related to people anatomy, like we have House of Corpo that has skeletal, bones, erythro, blood, neuro, brain. Then we have House of Riago, mean reactions. You have ice, you have fire, you have electricity, and just to have a diversity, just to have a story that maybe can, even if we didn't have the whole study part, that the project could have a nice twist. And that is how we let's say we did it. But in our case, since I'm no artist, we didn't plan to take an artist for this. At that time, we discovered what is possible to do with AI.
Right.
And we realized, oh my God, we will not be using scalpels as this plastic surgeon doctor to operate the people. We will use artificial intelligence. And we were pretty much okay with that because, I don't know, we believe that, it's about people behind the tools. But also we knew this is another potential red flag, because at some point, how it went with space when we had the derivatives, and people were like, oh, this is a potential red flag.
Yeah,
because
using
the project
AI
already exists there. And at some point, people were saying that for AI, because of course it's much faster to do something. Although when you try to do really a collection and everything, it's not even close faster how people usually think it is.
There's way more to it. And I mean, I think with some of the controversy it was about people generally being understanding AI art was going to happen, but it was it wasn't stated that it was AI. So then people were kind of pissed at that project, right?
That was, I think I know who you're referring to.
Yeah.
It was something recently, right?
Ryan, are you reading me on this? You got, Andy, I'm not saying the project, but yeah. Okay. I have a question though, because you talked about the houses. You mentioned here the family names are taken from Esperanto. Isn't Esperanto that language that's not a language or something? Tell me about, I feel like I was going to Google it, but I was like, I'll just ask them. Esperanto
is actually an artificial language that was created many years ago.
It's not real, right? Or it's real, but it's made. It's made
by combining, many different,
okay.
That's what I thought. Roots from different languages in it. But the funny part is that actually you have people who are actually speaking it even today.
That's why I was like, "What you're so okay." Are you guys comfortable with going on a? That's what I was going to ask. Let's go on a tangent here.
Is this Klingon? I'm just going to say that.
No.
Klingon. People just made up a language and they start talking Klingon to each other.
Well, Klingons in Star Trek, it's real. But Esperanto, there's a debate whether is it a real language? Is it not? Because they it's how different is Esperanto from Pig Latin? There we go. That's my question.
different from
like pig Latin. You know how kids make a pig Latin? I don't know if you're aware of that.
No, I'm not familiar with.
Okay, that might be a more North American thing. So, okay, tell me about Esperanto.
Give me an example. No. Now you have to tell me, because
I've never talked to, but it's like you add syllables at the end of every word. It's like Eminem did it in a rap.
Okay, so pig Latin is like children often do it. Like, so the way, this is going to be a bit ridiculous. So how I saw it happen when I was a kid is like, a lot of times groups that would be gossiping would be like, okay, we're going to speak in pig Latin because this person or whatever doesn't understand it. And like, it's like a made up language that kids would make up. But basically it's like, you would take like the ending or add it to the beginning or something. So you would say like, ig Latin a real like language a or something. Like you would say something strange like that. And it's just like, you're just moving around the consonants of English.
It's almost like having a cipher, a code.
Yeah. Honestly, it's more like a cipher or code based on English than a real language. And I know Esperanto was like, people are like, it's not a real language. And then some people are like, it is a real language. And I'm like, so I see that it's taken from Esperanto. And I was like, that's hilarious because some people are going to love that. And some people are going to, I don't know, they'll probably love it. I
mean, when we already started our Discord and talking with community before we chose most of the art and everything was finished and ready, but we knew that we will have houses, but we were still like debating the names and stuff like that. And since there was like from the beginning, we have some of the members in our community who were like playing detectives, trying to like when we were in the spaces, we have many spaces, our spaces or going to other spaces. They were like trying to get the accent. So we stated from the beginning that we are from Europe. So that was, and they were
I'm doing the same thing. All podcasts I'm listening to, I'm like, where are they from? And I want to guess, but I don't want to be wrong. Like I have my family member. I have family members from Bulgaria, from Sofia. So I'm like, is this like what I'm thinking? I'm like, is it somewhere else? So I don't know. Like it's
we'll
further.
Find out in the next
Baltic,
episode.
Maybe. I don't know, man. It's more east than north. That's all I'll say.
And so, and we were like joking many times. They were like just putting, countries from Europe. Some of them were not even from Europe. And it was so fun because Thesis and I, we both speak multiple langulanguages. So
of course. Of course you do. I'm on my third master's. I have my PhD. I'm also an astronaut.
I barely speak English properly.
I also speak 7 languages.
Astronaut thing. I think we are maybe too old for that. Not too old, but I don't know if they would like take us now. But basically, so it was fun for us to use many different languages in the chat. We were like playing. She would speak a little bit of German. I stated that part of my family is, Italian, so I speak Italian also, and I would speak Italian. Then we would put a little bit of Spanish and stuff like that. It was so fun, and at some point, I looked at Thesis and I was like, oh my God, we need to use Esperanto because Esperanto is made up from many different languages, together. Okay. So it was, and then when I knew about Esperanto, we learned about Esperanto in school and everything, but I didn't know any word actually. So basically we Googled and we saw, and then I was, reading a little bit more about Esperanto just to have, more knowledge about it. And when I read the sentence artificial language, I was like, that's it.
Yeah, it works perfect.
Perfect.
Combining with this, and that was it.
Flor Basico, whatever that is. Flor Brasico. I keep on looking at that. I'm like, what is that? Like, what is that?
Flor Brasico is basically the word for cauliflower. The whole family is cauliflower. That's why you can see they have they have different levels of dysmorphia, meaning they can be their head can be made by the complete cauliflower, or they can have only hair with cauliflower and stuff like that, because all the characters have different level of dysmorphia. You can be high, medium dysmorphia level, high, low, or you can be wannabe. Wannabe means you don't have any level of dysmorphia, meaning if you are part of House of Panda, for example, Panda is in Esperanto panda, that's very similar.
I was able to guess that.
Lupo is wolf.
Okay.
I mean, in Italian language, you would say lupo, so it's very similar.
Yeah.
And for example, the wannabe would be, he's part of the panda family, but he doesn't have anything on his body that was like transitioning in the real panda, but it has maybe a print on his shirt with a cute panda. It's like a wannabe. I want to be a panda, or I want to be something. So, yeah.
So, Ryan, I'm gonna quiz you on Esperanto right now. What animal in Esperanto is zebra?
Zebra.
Oh, you got it right. You're smart. Good
Look
guy.
At me go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun part of the Esperanto, that many words, I don't know if but many end up with the O.
Okay.
In the end. So you have pando, lupo, zebra, florbrasico, electro, meaning electricity, firo, meaning fire, or glacio, meaning ice and stuff like that. But
I can learn this. I've got it. Okay.
Yeah,
I would have guessed cauliflower, but whatever. Figure it out. Okay. Let's talk about the artwork. Ryan,
I do have a question. What's the total supply of dysmorphia?
1,500.
1,500, and then because I was a little late coming into the project, my first one I bought off secondary, but I didn't realize something had changed with the artwork, because I was looking at it on JPEG, but then when I clicked on it, it was something totally different. I was like, oh, this artwork I like way better. Not to say the other stuff was bad. I just liked the new, I guess it was the newer artwork at the time. But did you guys split up the mints?
No, the initial idea was to have 4 small mints, because because for the study would be great to see if you mint in, different stages while building the community and everything, you can probably have different results. And that's like more diverse results for the study. So it's basically cool. Imagine if you have during the period of 1 year, you have 4 mints, and then one is slow mint. The other one could be, for example, sell out immediately and stuff like that. That's great data for the study, right? But in the end, we went with 2 mints because of the, state of the market and everything. Right. And we realized what we are doing. So we changed from the previous 4 mint and the bigger supply of 3,000 to the 2 mints and 1,500 NFTs. So we did 2 mints. One was in December, 750, and one was recently now started. And we are now on, how much is this? 1, 2, 3, 5, 0. 1, 2, 5, 0. 1,250 NFTs minted. So basically 250 left. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we saw that today, which is cool. Yeah. Very cool.
And we updated the first 1,700 that were minted since the what?
700.
700.
So yeah, I was like, that's more.
Sorry, so I realized that when we have or spaces, or I need to talk and it's a little bit more in the evening time, probably because all the work and everything, the words doesn't, they don't come easy to me. So I made
it's okay. You have to pick between all the different languages. Everything. So it's okay. It's fine. I speak one, and I still mess up that one language. I speak excuse. one and a half languages, so it's fine.
What's the half?
French.
No, you don't.
A little bit of French.
I've never heard you speak a word of French.
Never. Oh, okay. All right. So
you're you're doing the rest of the interview in French.
En français, pas de problème. Ryan. Okay, don't. It's just like I can't do it on command. Do you speak French? If you do, like, go ahead.
I don't.
Oh.
I think I would understand a little bit because
Probably because of Spanish.
Yeah, because of the Spanish and because of the Italian, and because in the high school I had like 4 years of Latin and 4 years of ancient Greek.
She even speaks ancient languages.
Ancient
No, don't
Latin.
speak them. You learn how to read them and understand them. Yeah, that's why I was interested in the big Latin that you mentioned.
I think Dysmo probably speaks ancient Aramaic as well.
No.
Yeah. Okay, well, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, let's talk.
But I think she knows a little bit of French, right?
Yeah, un peu.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was basically it.
That's
more than I know, and I live
that's
here
fine.
in Canada.
Fine.
So
yeah,
and baguette and some wine, and that's more or less
fromage.
That's cheese.
And fromage.
Good. Now I'm trying to show anything I know, right? Like the smallest little bit.
We're cool. We can hang with you girls.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Edit later. You can edit later and put some more words in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like read something off the internet and like slide it in, and you'll be hearing the podcast, and then it'll be an AI version of me.
Just use I was gonna say use AI, but have it speak in French as you.
Okay.
And then throw it on the episode, and then we're golden.
Then we're good to go. And they'll be like, "Oh, you did." Yeah.
See?
Okay.
AI's everywhere, buddy.
It's not stopping.
Nope.
Okay, so the artwork. What does it look like? How would you describe it?
Yeah, how to describe it? I would say it's like we try to have like you would have people, from your neighborhood that at some point are transitioning to the name of the house they chose. So that's why you have people looking like panda. Some of them have only panda ears. Some of them have already the whole face. Some of them even parts of the body. And that is how it goes with all the families in this, because there are like 4 houses, like we mentioned, and each house has 3 families. So I would say, yeah, the AI came as a perfect solution because we really wanted that they look like real humans transitioning in something. So yeah, it was a fun experiment for us. And since we didn't want just to do it and then people mint and support the study and everything, and they don't have anything from it, we did, I would say, we gave the NFTs it's the correct word, utility thesis.
I don't know what are you gonna say.
Yeah.
That everyone who holds Dysmorphia will be able to mint the study in. We don't have the price of the study yet, but we know that everyone who holds Dysmorphia will have at least 50% lower price for the study.
With the study NFT, is there going to be a cap limit on it, or is it just going to be open-ended? People can mint as many as they want, as long as they want.
Thesis, do you want to speak a little bit?
You don't want to speak anymore?
No, I won't, but then later you will say, oh my God, you speak all the time. It will be a capped mint. It will have a supply.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know.
I dropped in our chat here one of them. What number is it? 1425. Because as I was scrolling through, I was like, this is definitely Florida Brasico, because this person is becoming this cauliflower one. This is my favorite. This is my favorite now.
1425.
I think this one looks like you though. Well, not exactly like you, but I think you would like it.
Yeah. I think there's some similarities to this one as well. 1355 is when Ryan's dropped in here.
Yeah, 1355 is the guy with the dreads. He's on fire.
I'll drop the link.
Orange is your favorite color.
That's true. Actually, it might be changing now.
Why? Are you going to that electric purple that Charlie Cohen told you about?
Yeah, actually. I can't remember you remember that because naturally I seem to gravitate to blues and purple a lot. And yeah. So
well, the fact that he's colorblind too helps.
That's true, because half the time I don't know what the color is. But either way, we're not talking about that now. To generally describe to some people that are listening, the art is really, really cool, 3D CGI looking, AI generated, and these, like as they said, they're transitioning between their human entity form and the house they belong to. So they have this like cauliflower faced person, or some people have apples and different things. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Is there different perks? I feel like I have a hoodie trait role and headphone trait role on my Discord. I haven't delved because I didn't want to deep dive too much, because I wanted to kind of ask you the questions on the podcast. But is there different perks for traits that you mint?
It's a nice excuse not to investigate. Yes, like
It's part laziness too. I'll admit that. But go ahead.
Lucky for you, we like to talk, so no worries.
Yes, it pays off.
Yeah. Yes, we have perks. We have merchandise perks for our holders.
Yep.
We started that at sometime March, I think, and hoodie, it was the first one. Basically, what we do is we picked some of the traits from the collection, like hoodie, and then we played like 2 weeks of games to get a hoodie. You would need at first place to be a holder of that trait, so you can join the games, you can join some raffles, etc., and
or be the biggest holder,
of.
There are like many ways
hoodies.
how you can win the hoodie.
And then we would basically give away those hoodies to the community. So the first 7 hoodies was given away that way, and they were pretty special because each of the winners could have designed or told us how to design one whole sleeve for them. So they were all the same, like in the majority of the hoodie, but
in the hood they have our green brain.
The sleeve was special for everyone, with some
right, so they could still add
something from us.
Their personal touch to it.
Yeah,
it was nice, and it was also very, I would say, emotional. I can give you one example. For example, look at me, especially the English. So basically, one of our holders, when we had our first mint, it was a really slow mint. And the community was very small, but so supportive. And I mean, we are always cheerful and everything, but we are also very honest about our emotions. And we never said, well, it doesn't matter. This is all experience. It doesn't matter if you don't sell out. Of course you want to sell out. Of course you want that people who support you have some benefits from it. You want to be successful. That's pretty normal. And sometimes the things that you do maybe are not recognizable, by everyone, and you need to work more, and you need to be out more to spread the word. And he saw that we are doing everything. He saw all our work, like many other people in our community, and he usually doesn't speak very much in the chat, but he's basically our biggest holder. And he sent me a DM. I was surprised. He sent me a DM with a song, and this song is, oh my God, is so nice. And it has this phrase in it by saying that how it goes. We get by, like, through thick and thin, we get by. And it was so cool. And he just said, I see all your hard work and what you are doing. I'm really supporting you. And it was, I mean, I cried. I literally cried because it was so emotional, especially coming from someone who doesn't speak much, but just keep doing your good work. You are doing a good thing. You are good persons. And so when he won a hoodie, because he's the biggest holder, and one of the hoodie went to him, and we asked him, okay, what do you want us to put on this sleeve that will be personalized? And he said, just surprise me. And I said to Thesis, remember a few months ago when he sent us that song, let's put that that verse
Mhm.
on his part, and he was so surprised.
That's cool.
For some of them, we put a sticker that they wanted to be designed. Like, we have a sticker, it's for fun. It says "Down with Dysmo." It's like to mocking me, And one of our holders redid that sticker by putting. He crossed the down part and he wrote like "Drink with Dysmo." So we put on his sleeve that part, "Drink with Dysmo," not "Down with Dysmo."
Awesome.
So every sleeve was so personalized, and for us, I don't know, it's like, because it was not our goal just to have a merch and
That's cool.
we really managed to find a sustainable factory. Everything is done by ecological colors.
Wow.
It's all print, so it's on demand. So we did only how much we needed. It's high material, it's recyclable. So everything we wanted, if we are going to do it, it's going to be quality. Maybe we cannot give like 1,000 hoodies, but however the number in the end will be, that we will send our hoodies, because they are like, token of gratitude for people who support us. It will be high quality and it will be with a personal touch and everything. So now currently we have games for the trade that is chef, because some of the NFTs has a chef hat or chef suit. So all the people that hold that chef can participate in the games. And we designed this so cool apron. It's also
that's right. I did
very
see
high
that.
quality. Yeah. But also we always try to do that. Even people who don't have a specific trade, but they hold any other Dysmo, can participate. So it's trying to do, always to give to someone who is the bigger holders. Some can be win by luck, some by, if we have now a chef competition, I put a dish there, it's copy pasta, like try to copy what I did, and to put a little bit fun, while in the background we are doing serious job. But we like to combine both of things. I love when we started, this is said a phrase that stuck with me the whole time, like, doing serious stuff but with enough fun also. So that is what we are trying to do.
That definitely aligns with how I like to operate. For sure, how the podcast rolls. We're kind of silly sometimes, maybe all the time. So, and I think for me, it's the only way I can like keep going and make work feel not work. So
exactly,
yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
Also, the sweaters, like you could see the sweaters under that blog post that you guys have, like some of them, and they look great. They look high quality. You can see that they're thick, even around the hoodie. That's where I was looking at before. Yeah, they look great. So actually, Ryan, I don't know if you have any other questions. I have a question.
I have one written down, but go ahead.
You asked yours first.
Okay. I guess it's for a broader, maybe down the road. Would you guys look at do you plan on doing a broader NFT study, or maybe a different blockchain, like just a broader study in general? This one's obviously going to be successful. So I guess future plans, what do you guys, or girls, I should say, would like to do?
We have many ideas, that's for sure. And
too many sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
Well, first of all, what we always like to say, we want to do this correctly and deliver everything that we said. So that's the next plan for the next month and a half still, and to do it the best way we can. But for sure, when we stated in the beginning, we will do this for 1 year and not disclose any further plans after that, until this is. But since this, I think, is happening like really nicely, and we are getting many connections in space, getting to know many people, and like they know us now. I would say they see what are we doing, and basically it's logical, I think, to think of the future after this. And of course, when you mention other blockchains, this type of thing, the study really does not have to be only on Cardano. It can be wider. It can be done on other communities and other blockchains. And I think it has potential and it has value to be done in this way or similar way, or maybe we can know how to do it even better after we do this, and offer maybe something like that in the future to more projects, to maybe I would say create a new business model, how to develop further something out of this all, which will,
and research the market,
which will be here for the research and for bringing more knowledge and like making this whole space, I would say, more serious in some way. I mean, it's always loads of fun and everything, but if you have someone in the background maybe doing the real data, and so you always have a place to go to read data and to see what are the statistics about something, what's really works in space, what do people love or don't love, so projects can know how to go forward better.
Yeah,
I think it has its place.
Yeah, interesting. Very useful. I mean, I can't see that a way that project founders can't find value in the general response. I mean, even just our conversation briefly about, alternate accounts or wallets, or, I'm really excited to see the results and the questions that you come up. I'm sure they'll provide like a snapshot of the community in a way that no one else has really captured. So that's cool. Excited. Looking forward to that. And the doxing. I have a question specifically for Dysmo. Maybe Ryan, you can ask Thesis if you want, but my question is, what is your favorite food?
That's a very difficult question. How much time do you have?
Well, we're eating lunch now. So what did you order?
Well, I would say I'm a big foodie when it comes to, we stated recently, we said to our community, many years ago, I went like full plant-based, like vegan. It was more because, I don't know, I love animals, and it was getting tough for me. But I'm not one of those persons who will judge anyone else and stuff like that. I still miss many of the tastes from before. But since I love to cook, I really like to cook. And I managed to even eat much more diverse than I ate before. So if I had to choose one, you would probably be disappointed. I would always say like something with potato and chips. But chips, like we said in Europe, how you call it, crisps or something like that?
Crisps?
Or
like,
chips.
So when you say chips, I'm like, are these these are chips, crisps, or like, are we talking about fries? Like, what are we talking about here?
No, it's like, when you have a potato and it's like in the round shape, but very thin.
Yeah, chips.
So potato chips,
so
we call them.
Chips.
Potato chips.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that some call chips something else.
No.
So I don't know, but I think that's because that's something like a comfort food, probably. That's the first thing that pops to my mind. But I'm a big fan of really combining everything, especially fruits, sweets, veggies, doing so many different sauces. I mean, I have more than, I would say, around 100 spices in my kitchen.
I didn't even know there were 100 spices.
Yeah. I will definitely post more pictures, from, my kitchen and stuff like that in this doxing week. And you can see it's like, everything is so categorized on the wall, and it's so nice. I mean, I love spices and love to cooking. So it's difficult for me to say, one.
I actually really like that answer, and I have an affinity, or I have a love for chips as well. I don't eat them much anymore, but I love them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't eat much anymore also because Thesis banned them because she said that I'm using, chips wrongly. Like, to comfort myself, it's better to use, just to enjoy sometime. And so, yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, cool. Ryan, what's your...
She knows typos. It's not hilarious. It's dangerous to not do what she says.
We all have our vice.
Mhm.
Potato chips is hers,
Mhm.
or was.
So Thesis, Ryan was gonna ask you this, but I will ask. Thesis, what's your favorite food?
Oh, the same question. I was thinking now when she was speaking, if he asked me the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you the same question. So yeah.
She's also.
What's my favorite food?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Everything that she doesn't cook. Everything that
Dysmo cooks for me.
That's a good answer.
What's my last favorite food when Thesis cook?
Yeah. I like
That's
that.
hilarious.
Really, I enjoy basically food, and whatever is in my plate, I eat it with so much pleasure every time, like it's the first time I'm eating. So
and it's so funny because when you see her, she's really like petite, but also very strong because she trains so many things, and she teaches me Thai box. So she's really powerful. But at first, when you saw her, you wouldn't connect her with food,
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
when you put a plate in front of her, that's like you better don't come between that. It's like her and the plate, and you hear all the voices, like, oh my God. It's almost like, the movie when Harry met Sally and stuff like that.
The diner scene?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But why is there no reaction?
Sorry, I was literally thinking. The reason why?
How do you not know the scene?
I was just thinking to myself about Thesis is like from House of Beasto, and she's just like eating like that's what I was thinking. I'm sorry. I didn't want to say that, so I was like zoned out. I was like,
but it is, but it would be a correct way to imagine her. But then when you see her face and everything, she's so sweet and nice and everything. So I don't know. It's almost like a combination of everything. I don't know.
What a discussion.
We will definitely need now. I have an idea. We need to film you when you're eating. This will be part of the doxing.
That's the doxing.
Perfect.
You and Doctor just eating a meal.
This will get us, many people, and we need to capitalize on that. You're funny when you're eating. Okay.
That's awesome.
You know what? I think that's where we are, everyone. I think that's where we wrap up the podcast. With that image. Thesis and Dysmo, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. It's been a joy to listen to you talk about the project, to get the small insights into your lives, to understand that you speak collectively probably all the languages in the world, and you have every spice in your kitchen. There's, you collectively probably have 10 different degrees.
Thanos collecting spices and languages.
Spices and languages. Scientific study for everything. If you want to know more about the project, what should listeners do to know more about the project? So what do they have to do so that they can be able to mint the study? What NFTs? What's the last call to action you would like anyone to do? Do they join the Discord? Do they follow you on X? What should they do?
All of that. All of that. Basically, on our X, there's a nice pinned tweet that is, I would say, a great summary about what we are doing. And from there, you can go, even in our bio on X, there's a link to our website. On our website, you can find our lab paper. That's our version of white paper. if you're going to really explore and learn everything that we are doing, we are in a Discord every day, except from Saturday noon till Sunday evening, because from the beginning, that's the time when we close our chats for everyone to have a little break from us and us from everything. And but basically every other day we are omnipresent there, so everyone can ask. I like to send voice messages. That's the thing in our Discord. I like to do it. So I will probably send you a voice message if you ask something. When it comes to Mint, the Mint will be sometimes in late September or the first week, I will say, in October. When it comes to study, the most obvious way to get whitelists for the study was to fill out one of these surveys, but we will have some, I would say, more possibilities.
The most obvious way is to have a Dysmo.
The most obvious way also is to have a Dysmo. There are still 250 of them waiting for you to be minted. We will have more games related to trades. It will be more hoodies that could be win, headphones also, if you collect, Dysmos that have headphones or hats. So that's I would say, the way how you can support us, become part of the study if you are still not familiar with us. And that will be it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I was just going to say thank you so much for doing the episode, and I've learned a lot, so that's been awesome.
Definitely. All right.
Now you don't have to read.
Perfect. Who wants to read anyways? I'll read the study though.
They read for a living.
I'll read the study.
Okay. Well, thanks for rocking with us, everybody. We'll see you next week. And I guess, Ryan?
NFTs.
We out. Why would you not? You're supposed to say it.
You butchered. That was all you. You butchered it this time.
There's no butchering the outro.
You looked at me like you're like, okay, let's ask a question.
No,
is the music playing? Is that what you?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought you were going to ask. I thought you were going to ask.
Play the music.
Yes. Okay. Whatever. You know.